Greetings friends, welcome to another Slow Craft Vlogmas brought to you by me, who you can't see. My name is Bobbie Olan and I am a crafter coming to you from Victoria, Australia. I have had to do away with the little floating head thing that I had been doing in recent videos. My computer has been struggling a little bit with actually editing all of that. My editing software actually crashed on the last day that I had that going. So I will have to try to figure out another way to make that work if I want to keep doing these kind of videos for other things. Anyway, today is going to be the last day where I'm actually going to be crafting with you, just because we are getting close to Christmas and I am feeling the pressure of all of the things that I need to do. So there's going to be a lot of cooking and baking and all of that kind of stuff in the next couple of days. What I have here with you was a tea towel. I have burnt it, as you can see, and I have been hanging on to them. Sorry if you can hear that background noise. There was no noise before and now, I don't know, someone's mowing the lawn. Let me just see if I can shut the window a bit more. I think that's a little bit better. Where was I? I burnt these. I've been hanging on to them because I really like this tea towel and the other sheep one that I turned into a zokin in a previous episode, but I just never really got around to like patching them because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then I saw a video on making zokins out of old tea towels and other bits of cloth so that you can keep reusing them and give them a second life, and I really like that. Anyway, this one here, I cut it in half and then I folded this half in half and I have stitched that together. So what I actually did was I cut it in half and then I unpicked the hem and rolled out the hem. It has resulted in this funny corner because they did a mitered hem and they cut off some of the fabric so that there wouldn't be so much bulk there, which I hadn't thought of when I planned this whole thing. So I've got a funny little corner there, which I don't mind, I kind of like. I did find all of these folds here from the hem fiddly to work with, and of course I could have just made that all easier on myself by using the iron, but I could not be bothered. So what I did was I had it folded in half, right sides together, and then I stitched two of the open sides and then I turned it inside out and then I stitched closed the opening. And then because of how these folds are, it was kind of like bubbling out at the sides. So just in these areas where I still had the fold from the hem, I did a little bit of top stitching by hand. And as I had mentioned in a previous episode when I was trying to explain what I wanted to do, I did have this other scrap of a Christmas printed calico fabric that I've just popped inside underneath where I have burnt so that there aren't just big giant holes and gaps. I did find that to be quite bulky in some places though, and while I think it looks kind of interesting and I like that I still managed to have a Christmas theme there, I decided for the other half of that tea towel I want to do that one a bit differently. And that's what I'm going to do with you today. So instead of doing like nice stitching over this whole thing to really secure it all down, pop that aside for now, I am actually going to prepare the second zokin from that tea towel, and at some point I will one day actually go ahead and stitch both of these. So for this one, this is the other half of that tea towel, as I have already said. What I did then was I cut it in half again. So these are the two halves, and I am going to put them right sides together and do the same thing where I stitch all the way around and then turn it inside out. You'll see me do that anyway, but I don't want to unroll these hems. I don't want to unpick this stitching and unroll these hems. And I also want to avoid having this problem here where this corner is just missing because of how I have burned it. So to solve both of those problems in one go, what I am going to do is lay them so that the hemmed sides are opposite each other. So that's going to help with the bulk, but it is also going to help with covering up these areas here where there would have been no fabric at all. So yes, that is what we are going to do today. I'm just going to try to sort of line these up a bit. They're not exactly centered or square, and I'm going to do my stitching just inside inside where the hem is, so that I'm not trying to sew through the black. I think it's folded under twice, so it would be 4 layers of fabric that I'll be sewing through, and I really don't want to have to do that. And I guess technically I don't need to be stitching in these corners either, where there isn't going to be any fabric, and those areas will just be secured eventually later when I do fancy stitching, as K3N calls it, over the top of the fabric. And that's actually good. This is a big enough hole that I could probably like flip it inside out and not have to do any like awkward stitching when I flip it so that it is right side facing out. For the that other half that I did, that I showed you, I did manage to it's not the nicest fabric to pin through. I did manage to use up more of the threads from the sewing kit that I had taken home, because it was part of the amenities from some hotel that I stayed at some point in my life. Just that looseness of fabric. Actually, this one's fine. This one's a little longer. Yep, so let me stitch. I'm still keeping as much of the stretch as possible. Ouch, pretty myself. Sucking here. But yes, I only have like 1.5 of these left, of those threads left, and those needles aren't great, and I have so many needles, and much better needles than those, that I will not be hanging on to those needles either. It was very handy having having some, whatchamacallit, some pre-threaded needles just ready to go. I think the next time I embark on a sewing project, I will maybe just go ahead and pre-thread some needles for myself, which will be really easy to set up when I start my next cross stitch project, because of course you're told what colors you will be working with, so that will be an easy one to just line up however many you need. Okay, so I am ready to go. Because it is on the inside and you won't see it, do I care what color what color thread I'm going to use? There isn't that much left of this grey, so maybe we shall leave that one and go with the blue, because that is still a full length of whatever that was. Here we go. And I am just going to, I'm not going to use it doubled up. I am just, actually, you know what? In an effort to use it all up, maybe I will use it doubled up. And then if I end up having to use the grey thread, then that'll just give me an opportunity to use up all of the grey thread. I think this corner is bigger than that corner, and I'm going to sew it this way up so that I can stitch as close. Actually, if that's going to be folded under, I don't want to stitch too close to that hem, otherwise it'll be bulky. So I'll stitch, I don't know, maybe like 3 mil out from it or something like that. So yes, I decided tonight that I'm going to work with this doubled. So let's do one of those fancy magical voodoo knots that I don't understand how they work, but I think they're pretty cool. So hold, wrap. I don't know how many times you're supposed to wrap, pinch and pull down, whoops, and voila, there's a knot like magic. I probably wrapped that too many times, that's a really big knot, but it does not matter. I should probably if I just follow this line, I think I can catch this actually, just for safekeeping. Oh, and I want a thimble. Let's try this one. Now that I've started with a knot, I'm kind of wishing that I didn't start with a knot and that I just, that just tore right through there. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. I'm wishing I just started with a back stitch because not so bulky. And this is going to have some bulk anyway, but not so bulky. And I would prefer not to have them, really. I'm starting a bit further away from that hem than I thought I was going to. I hope that they're not going to be out there mowing and whippersnippering this whole time. It is council works that are going on. So I'm actually wondering if I should shush and not chat while that is happening. I don't feel like doing this. And now they're quiet. But yeah, I feel like I'm stitching more like 5 mil away from the end of that hem now that I have started. Come on. And I don't know if my struggles in stitching this are because of the quality of the needle or if it's because of the quality of the fabric. Could always be both. I wonder actually if I ought to be wearing, if I'd have an easier time of it with my Sashko thimble that I made instead of this one. And I did find it. I chucked it into my stationery pouch because I still have it wrapped around a glue stick to try to make sure it doesn't strangle my finger. I do like this thimble because it frees up all of my fingers. So comfortable. wonder if this will be more secure if I do that stitch where you go back and then forward and then back and then forward. Is that stitch any more secure than just the straight up running stitch, or is it like the same? I feel like it's gonna eat up the thread faster if I do that though, so maybe I won't. Oh, you know what I should do? I should draw myself lines so that I can sort of at least try to stitch in a straight line. This is so not going to be square. Look at that. Look at how wonky this edge is. What do I want to do about that? I don't know yet. I don't have a fabric pencil here, so what am I going to use? I will just use a grey lead pencil. Ooh, yeah, I've gone really off the line there. Do I care? No. I think this is just, let's not care about straight lines. Forget that, forget straight lines. We're just gonna keep following the line of this hem. This isn't meant to be a really like neat bit of work anyway. I am just trying to revive this fabric and give it new life. I do feel like I should be making an effort to make small stitches to try to like ensure that this stays together, but at the same time, if I am going to be doing more fancy stitches, like running stitches in some kind of pattern all over the surface of this, then that will also help with ensuring its longevity. It's just occurred to me too, now that I am like working so up close and I'm looking at this fabric so much more closely than I have looked at it in the past, I can see like the structure of the weave really clearly. And because it is this like even weave type fabric, it just makes me think of cross stitch fabric. Like I could just do a cross stitch on it. Something to bear in mind maybe if I destroy and want to revive another tea towel, but honestly let's hope that doesn't happen again and that I've learnt my lesson. I hope that you are all, if you celebrate Christmas, that your preparations are all going smoothly for it. I did what I hope is the last of the Christmas shopping that I need to do food-wise today. And while I was at the shop, or was it over breakfast this morning, I decided that I'm going to add one more thing to the list of things that I am going to be baking. And that is polvoron, which is kind of like a Filipino shortbread. That's how I think of it. It's a treat that I absolutely loved growing up. And I have had the Goldilocks cookbook for a while now. Goldilocks is a very, very popular Filipino bakery. And it always used to be that whenever anyone would visit the Philippines or would send treats from the Philippines, they would bring back, well, one of the treats that they would bring back is polvoron. Is it pasalubong? Is that what that is when you bring back treats? when you bring back goodies from having travelled, like souvenir type gifts for people. I can't remember now. Anyway, I have had the Goldilocks cookbook for a while. It was gifted to me, but I haven't made much from it. But I've, like the last couple of the years when we've had these Christmas parties and things, I've really been missing those treats from my childhood, those like Filipino treats to be specific. So every year, one of the things that my family does is that we have a baking challenge, and whoever wants to enter it, we pick a theme, and whoever wants to enter makes something in line with that theme, and then when it is time for dessert, we all taste all of the desserts, and then we have to vote for our favorites. Do we just vote for one? I think in recent years we've been like doing, I can't remember, have we been doing top 3 or just voting for one? Doesn't really matter. But last year the theme was cookies. And I don't know if everyone will agree with me that shortbread is a cookie. What is the difference between a biscuit and a cookie? I guess I would really call shortbread a biscuit, not a cookie, but I don't care. I wanted to make polvoron, so I made polvoron. And that is the very first time that I have made it. And it turned out really well, and people in my family were telling me that it tasted really authentic, which made me really happy to hear. But I decided that this year I want to make polvoron again. So we're not doing the cookie challenge again. I just want to make it. And I do still have some pinipig left over from when I made them last year, so I'll be making again pinipig polvoron and probably some plain polvoron as well. Pinipig is like a toasted rice thing. It just like adds a really nice crunchy texture to the polvoron. There you go, that's one side done, and I used up a lot more of that thread than I expected to. Where are my snips? They are here. And one excellent thing about polvoron is that it's a no-bake biscuit. It's a refrigerate-only one. So, you know, it's really excellent for hot climates. I kind of want to start on this side with this one because I don't really know the best place to start/stop on this edge here, so if I start here then I can just work until I feel like I ought to stop. Don't have much of this blue, but that is okay, and we will start with a itty bitty back stitch now. Seem to happen to be working closer to the hem on this side and making teensy tiny stitches. I wonder if that's because I am working with like closer to the edge, as in the edge of the fabric the smaller bit of fabric is closer to me, and somehow maybe not having to hold all of that bulk is making it easier for me to do small stitches, although now that I look at them, they're not actually really small. They got back to being big pretty quickly. My wrist is a bit sore today. Did it get more sore wrapping gifts than it does when I am crafting? Carpal tunnel from wrapping presents. I am really feeling it. Maybe it's all this stitching that I'm not used to doing. My wrist isn't used to it. Oh, maybe just get out one more. Can we get out just one more stitch? I probably really should tie the knot here. The theme for this year, the baking challenge theme for this year, is slices. And I'm not making a Filipino treat for that. Okay, this needle can join all of its friends. This thread can go in the thread catcher. And let's see how far we can stretch this grey. Oopsies. This grey thread won't go far at all. But I will do my favourite trick of the loopy start. I'm going to put this needle threader. Yep, it pulled both of those through. Okay, loopy start. Yes, so what I am going to be making is an oat slice, which I'm sure doesn't sound very exciting, but I quite like oat slices. And the recipe that I have, I've actually only made it as a sourdough oat slice. The recipe that I'm following, however, is not sourdough. It was just the recipe that I liked the sound of the best. So I converted it to sourdough, but of course I let my starter die, so I will now be using the actual recipe, except that whenever I make it I do different filling, a different filling to what the recipe calls for. I think the recipe just says like raisins, but I just put the equivalent quantity of whatever other flavor that I want to put. And I've been really happy with the recipe. One thing that is great about this recipe is it tells you one really simple modification you can do depending on whether you want the slices to be chewier or crunchier. So basically, if you want it to be crunchier, you use a bit less flour and a bit more rolled oats. And if you want it to be a bit chewier, you use a bit less rolled oats and a bit more flour. And I've actually always just followed the recipe as is because it's a nice medium. I think I would prefer something crunchier and my partner may prefer something chewier, or well, actually he likes them as they are. So I kind of just say, well, I just won't mess with the program then, and I'll just stick with them how they are. So I'll probably do the same again, just stick with the recipe as it is for the challenge. And I have made a few different flavors in the past. I've tried like various nuts and things. One that I quite enjoy is pandan and coconut. Coconut, I think I used like shaved coconut or shredded coconut or something like that. That was pretty good. But both mine and my partner's favorite is ginger and dark chocolate, and I buy like a crystallized ginger or something like that, which I chop up and put in, and it kind of almost like melts into it and just adds like the flavor. I love ginger. I love ginger flavor. So that is the flavor that I'm going to be making, but I have decided that for Christmas I am going to add a little twist to it, and I am also going to add pandan instead of, because the recipe, I think it has you use vanilla essence anyway. So instead of vanilla essence, I will use pandan essence. And I did do a quick Google, and I saw that yes, pandan and dark chocolate do go together as a dessert thing. And I've also seen that yes, pandan and ginger work well together, usually in savory, maybe like a more savory dish. But I'm gonna combine them. Just concentrate on my knot here, because I don't want to accidentally pull out of this needle and have to rethread it. I need a magnifying glass. There we go. It's in. And it came out. Oh well, that's just it. One knot. That's fine. That will do. Okay, so I still have some of this unknown embroidery thread. So let me see if I can't use this up too. This bit of it. What needle do I want to use? I don't think I actually like using the easy threader ones with the embroidery floss when I want to double it up. I think the easy threadies are good for when I just want to sew with a single strand. This tiny needle I think is good for, like, they use it for quilting. I think it's too small. Do I have anything here that I like the look of? Sharp one? That's not very sharp. I want a sharp one. I've got a couple of the easy threaders in here too. Gosh, that is a fine needle. Don't want to use that. Just pick one. Let's go with this. This has a nice solid feel to it. It has a tiny, tiny hole though. I don't know how well that's going to work. Oh, struggled a bit there, but kind of just made it. tiny hole, as I said. Where am I? Where was I? Over here. Yeah, so I hadn't seen anything in just the really quick searching that I did that that said that all three of those flavors, pandan and ginger and dark chocolate, would go well together, but I am just going to go for it. For these challenges, I don't really like choose my recipe based on what I think is going to win. I want people to like what I make, obviously, but I think I pick my recipes more so based on what I will kind of like than what I think is going to be a real crowd pleaser. So because this is like on the healthy side of baking, it's an oat slice, and it's gonna have, oh, come on, maybe this needle was too fat after all. That was a struggle. Yeah, and it's gonna have like dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate, and ginger. Like, I am sure that it's not gonna be the most popular flavor combination. Oh, that was easier, thank goodness. But I'm not that fussed. I like, you know, trying things that people may not necessarily have tried. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, so my plans are for baking that pandan dark chocolate ginger oat slice. That's a mouthful. Part of the reason that I wanted to throw the pandan in there is because it's green and it's Christmas. So I kind of just try to like use it because somehow that supposedly makes it feel more festive for me. And then the pulveron, which honestly I did consider, like, oh, should I just try a pandan flavored pulveron as well? But no, I will stick to original and Pinnipig. I am going to have extra of this yellow thread, and I'm wondering if I should just carry on, but there would kind of be no point once there's no more fabric to stitch together and it's just single fabric. I actually think at this point I ought to flip it, because I can see enough of the hem there to see if I'm catching it or not, and I am close to the end of this bit of fabric. As I have been sewing this one, well, I noticed it more with the other one, but you can maybe see it here, but some of these like edges of the burnt bits have just been breaking off because they're just brittle and burnt. And that'll be the last one there. I do want my knot to be on the back. And then yes, I will also be cooking like a main dish to bring. The way that my family does parties is everyone bring a dish, like buffet style thing. And for my partner's family, they do the traditional Christmas, and his mum likes to like do everything, so we don't need to bring anything for that. Oh, except dessert. because I'm not a big fan of Christmas pudding, and I don't mind trifle, but it's not my favorite. And my partner's sister's husband isn't the biggest fan of, is it just the trifle that he doesn't like, or is it the pudding as well? Anyway, I also make an alternative dessert. I'm just going to use these paper scissors because I forgot to bring the other ones. So I make an alternative dessert to sort of make sure that we have a treat that we like, but everyone gets in on all of the desserts too. It's not like, oh, I've only made this for me and him, no one else can have. No, it's not like that at all. Okay, so I want to eliminate this bulk here, so I will slice. But yeah, I love pavlova as well, and to me that's like your quintessential Australian Christmas dessert. So I like to make that, and honestly I have considered making that a pandan pavlova, which I think would be delicious, but I don't think that I don't know how well it would go down, and I'd rather make something that everyone can enjoy than just make something for myself, because that's not what it's about. And I don't think I need to, or maybe I will just trim this bit here as well, because that's a funny little bulky bit that may end up being a bit visible. And is the rest of it alright? Oh yeah, that's what I just trimmed. There's one there. Alright, let's try turning this inside out. This is the bigger hole, I think, and I just felt that tear a little bit more in a burn patch as I was grabbing that. Yep. It's tearing along those brittle. It's shedding more burnt fluff. Oh, and I have stopped using my embosser debosser tool for poking at the corners because I realized I have something better. This letter opener from the Philippines. I didn't buy it, I was given it, I'm pretty sure. But it's still quite bulky in here, actually. So I don't know how much I'm really going to be able to poke this corner out. Oh yeah, no, that's pretty good. That's one corner. One more corner over here. Can I get my hand in this hole? Yes. And I think I have just spotted some other stitching that I think I ought to do. Oh, look at it. It's cute. It's adorable. So that's one side. And there's the other side there. And I think I actually want to just stitch this down as well. I won't edge stitch the whole thing, or will I? I want this to be here and this to be folded there like that. Then I can see that point there, and I can trim this corner down as well. Fold that in. Oh, that wasn't, I I didn't really do a great job of that, actually. I didn't think that through. Oh well, it's done now. Yeah, I did not think that through. I angled those cuts way too much. How shall I do it on this side? I think I cut too much off because I was trying to eliminate more of this bulk, the bulk of the original hem. Do I want to fold that down first and then that? Except that that's quite bulky, so I will just let that sit at the top like that. Doesn't need to be pretty. Stop trying to make it pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Come on. Okay, let's see if we I can't really salvage that. Alright, I'll probably fast forward all that faffing about so that we are only sharing the stitching. Oh, is this still worth using? Yeah, still worth using. Let's use a different needle. I think maybe for this I'll just do it singled so that I can use my easy threader. Just started with an itty bitty bit of a back stitch there. Don't really care if those threads are visible. Should I actually be sewing in more? I think I should, now that I've started way out here. Oops. Oh, how awesome would it be if this itty bitty bit of thread was just enough to finish this bit of sewing. I kind of expect that it's not going to work out that way though. Especially if I'm going to do just an extra bit here to secure this, and actually maybe I will just finish up this thread by working to the corner. Just to make absolute certain that this is going to not fall apart on me. You have a thimble, you don't need to press down on the table. How far can I make this thread go? Oh, I need to pull out a little more slack here. Push, pull. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I feel like whatever they have done with this easy thready thingy on the top of this needle here has actually made it a bit bulky. And I feel like it catches. Don't know if that's just entirely my imagination though. Okay, so let's lose the thimble so that we can grab this and tie this off. It has come out of the easy threading thread. But that's okay because we need to tie our knot anyway. But yeah, I do think because this this cheap $2 shop unknown thread that I'm using, because it's so fluffy, I feel like it doesn't really play nicely with this needle either. One knot. Can we get a second one? Yes, we can. And then can we also hide this? If I just pull it through here, and then I can possibly just like tuck it in there and carry on with my usual bodgy stitching. Some of this I think I can just rip off. Okay, next. And where do we want to start this? Do we want to work our way to the corner again, or start at the corner and work our way out? Let us start in here. And just sort of mimic that odd little back stitch that we did last time. Just to get our needle locked, our thread locked in. And stab stitching our way up, just wherever we can get the needle through. Start making our way across. Okay. Hello. Oh. I finished talking about food, didn't I? On about it long enough. Making oat slice, pulveron, pavlova, and some savory dish for a main. I'm thinking like a vegetarian curry will be nice. I wonder if when it comes time to do the fancy stitching, if I have to try to pick a side to be the front and a side to be the back. But you will see the pattern on both sides. So I don't know if there really is a front or a back. I think there is, because really like your stitching is going to be neater on one side than it is on the other side, because that's the side that you're looking on and that you're focusing on, and it'll be easier to, you know, make sure, for example, that your stitches are neater. Not that my stitches are neat at all. Oops. Pulled. Oh well, just pull it out here. Cut it off there. I'm sure it's still secure enough. Alright, so that's that corner done. Possibly for this one as well, actually, because the holes are a lot smaller and they're really just at the corners. I won't do it now, but I will have a think about whether I just want to do some like stitching just to secure those holes and then leave the end, like, ouch, oh, there's a pin there, and leave the rest of it as is. I feel like that's what I'm leaning towards right now. I'll just do some I don't know what the stitch is called, you know, like how a buttonhole looks. Is that's not just buttonhole stitching, is it? Kind of like, where's something that I stitched? like this. What's this kind of stitching called? Like this, but I would possibly do more of them. I don't know. I won't do it here. I'm just contemplating what to do with this one, because with this one the hole comes out much further into it, so I think it'll be more fun to do like the big stitches over the whole thing, but it might be nice to have one where the original pattern isn't interrupted by more stitching. What do you reckon? Do you have any thoughts on the matter? Needle, thread. And if I do that to this one, then I possibly have enough to do all of that stitching with the rest of this yellow thread, which might be nice to have that bit of consistency, since you can see a bit of the yellow thread already. Where will we start here? This side where I pinned it, and just so that I can get rid of that pin. Started in the seam a little bit so I can pull it just so that that end is hidden, and then I don't need to mess around with trying to poke the end of my thread in to try to hide it, and I can just start stitching. Go gently with this first one to make sure I don't pull it out, and now that should be nice and locked in. Let's just shorten this length that I'm working with a bit more. Just a bit, or just a lot. And I'm going to do the same dealio where I started down here, and then now I'm going to work my way up. How handy, I can follow the line of the ribbon on this present. Oh, it's not liking that. What have I done? I've caught a thread somewhere. Oh, good. When this Vlogmas and Christmas is done, I really need to focus on doing some packing. I just want to tuck them in a little bit more neatly. Yes, and while I can't remember if I said this, but since we are moving, we are taking the opportunity to get rid of some furniture and other bits and pieces that we don't want. So the first things that I will be packing up will be things that I have in, for example, my writing bureau. And so that can be emptied and we can figure out where it will go, how to find a new home for it. Push, pull. Now, can you catch? This. Want to do this again. I don't think I need to or / want to go all the way out to the point and back again on this one. So I've just doubled up the stitch there. Can I move this pin? Can I move you? If I even need you. There still. I hope that's nice and secure. Oh. I think the thread is just catching on itself. It's like trying to twist around itself. Almost there. I really do think that that's kind of stitching, whatever that is what I am going to do for this particular miniaturized tea towel. But I will not be getting to it this year. It is going to go back in the pile of one day projects, as in not like do in one day, someday. I'll call them someday projects. just going to ditch the thimble for this last bit so that I can just have a little bit more accurate control to catch all of these sad little frayed bits. We are done. We just need to tie a knot and then hide the thread. One knot, and it looks like I split thread there, doesn't matter. Knot number 2, and then poke it in here to try to hide. I'm coming through to the other side, almost. Come on, just catch one layer, please. Just one layer. Or not. Yep. Oops. And snips. Frayed that a little bit more, that's alright. Okay, so that's that one on that side. And that's all that you see on the other side. And with the other corner, it looks like that. And on the other side, it looks like that. There are the two. And the two burnt corners there. And here we have the advents. It's another EleventyOne Windmills day, and hopefully that noise, whatever they're doing out there, isn't going to be too loud and interfering. I've taken off the stickers of these ones and popped them into my diary already. So we'll start with the notions. It's something soft, and the inspiration is Monstera. So yeah, this is another one of those ones where the Monstera was the inspiration for a previous stitch marker. Yes, so now we have it for a notion, and it is, oh, that's pretty. What is this? What is this delicate little pouch? Oh, that's an extra lovely little surprise. Oh, and look how nicely that is zigzagged onto there. That's such a pretty little design. Oh, I love the button. Oh, I love this. I should keep this in here with it, but I kind of want to let this live in here. But I also actually kind of want to, if I take these fun purple needles out, I'd want to sew this onto something as a little like decorative brooch type thing, because I think that in itself is just really pretty. For now, I will just keep it all together. But that's so lovely. How lovely is that? Super lovely. All right, stitch marker. The inspiration is ring-tailed lemur. So now this is this the third or is it the second ring-tailed lemur? I can't remember now. But it is cute. Look at that face. Cute. And the yarn inspiration is macaw. So that's the second macaw. And I have been noticing that these themes for the yarn have sort of been changing. I can't remember now if it's a different one each time or if there's maybe like ancient avians 1 and 2 or whatever. Anyway, doesn't really matter. We have a macaw. Oh, the colors. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, yes. Ashen Eve, Beauty. That is going to do some beautiful micro striping as well. But yes, gorgeous colors. My colors, very much my kind of colors. So thank you for those, Lisa, and thank you for that, Ashen Eve. Everything is gorgeous as usual. And I will see you tomorrow, possibly for just an unboxing.